I see we're starting soon. And now we're live. Yes, we have the live button. But where's the face? Here it is. Good evening, guys. It's me, your holistic stylist and spiritual researcher, Suze Pratt. And boy, do we have another big show for you tonight. So maybe some of you guys know we're playing a game, and the hashtag is play the game with us. So let's go ahead and see if Facebook Live wants to play Name That Tune. And we're up on Facebook Live. So here again, I'm glad to see you guys all here. Like I can see anybody. Now, the question is, my fine friends, because I know we have volume, so I'm not worried about that. But how do we share? Looks like we hit screen share. All right. We'd like to share the entire screen.
I don't mean that mean.
No. We are screen sharing. That always reminds me of, like, you know, some kind of trippy version of what I think a screen share is. What I'd like to do is I'd actually like to use my Facebook page. And so I see myself here, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring up our Facebook. There we go. I can see myself live on there. And here I am here. This is like a nightmare from hell for somebody that doesn't want to see me, isn't it? All right, let's just make this all nice and nifty neat. All right, and we can start tonight's show. So I'm going to say a few things, and I'm going to give you a great visual here. Now, the name of the YouTube channel that created this stunning artwork you're going to see is a channel called Rich Some Bitch. RICHSUMBITCH. And this is their rendition of Elvis Presley, Born to Rock. And it's Come On Everybody remix. Now, I am going to turn the volume down so I don't get in any trouble with the YouTube gods. And at the same time, I'll tell you a little bit more about tonight's show. Welcome. So we will turn that down there. And of course, you can see it up there in the left part of the screen. There, you get that glare off of the events for you. And I'll get this as best I can over the next few minutes. It's pretty groovy, isn't it? What I like about it is that some mysterious international man of mystery who has a voice close enough adds in a line in this video. So here again, I suggest that you go see it your own self at Rich Some Bitch. And this was published on August 19th, 2017. And of course, I said very flippin' cool. Of course, you know I did. We have wow, unique, very much so. Enjoyed it and love Elvis. This Dorian Boyd, he's a friend of mine. He's got a lot of questions, but you know, I think sometimes that he has a hard time understanding, and I'd have to say, oh, ye of little faith. Now, Dorian's more a Michael Jackson fan, and little did I know that in the last year of 2017, boy, were they having some contests. So, in this game, you might choose to connect the fact that we have a real odd connection there going between the king of rock and the king of pop. And you know, that old saying, it's never fun till somebody gets hurt and it ain't going to be me. Nobody should be getting hurt in this, but there's so much trauma you see from these programs that we have a land of hurt that we will be discussing tonight. And of course, Chuck says, this thing rocks, man. Do more, please. Great job. Okay. So we'll go ahead and let that picture play out. And I'm going to open up the back of my appointment book, which is where I have the order for the show tonight. What a big day. I didn't have 1 second of downtime. I did work with a client today, and all these messages that have been rolling in. I mean, you got to answer, right? You got to speak. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to look at some of the comments that not only I've made. You are presenting to everyone. Yes, that's good. That's what I want to do. Okay, so back to the story here. We'll go ahead and turn this off. I have a little lineup for you. And, you know, when we look at what's going on on Facebook, that's like talking about the many different arms of what you consider to be the internet or the web. So Randy has a couple current posts, and of course this all has to do with political hoopla, you know, the great stage. And I'll go ahead and read those. This is 2 hours ago. My friend Randy Moggins off Planet Media says, on another related note, Trump is not issuing arrest orders on anyone. Read enumeration of powers. The president has the powers to order arrests except in limited capacity under the aegis of the Justice Department. See, it's always good to have your facts, figures, and statistics because so many people are excited about it. I mean, in a good way. And then there's the ones that are completely traumatized because their entire ego and everything that they believed to be true, they held in words like Republican and Democrat. And see, that was part of the program. So don't forget, because we have our game still very important from last night playing into this with the entire Lucifer disclosure and the tag words. And last night, what I did was wrote down times and words that had to confirm spirit on the very things that we were talking about on Randy Moggins Off Planet Media show, where I did my first and only interviews. Nobody wants to interview my happy ass. Can you believe? I mean, I get it for real. But we went over part of the show from December 30th, where my cat Dinkus plays the piano. All right. So what else you got to say, Randy? Okay. Now, this is on QAnon, and I hope y'all know about that because it's a BFD right now. And so here again, there's so many shiny baubles. It's like in the movie Carousel where you look up and all the stars are twinkling in the heavens and, you know, you're saying, wow, isn't that something? Well, they don't see, like, you know, the throne of God where they should be focusing. They're looking at the flashing lights. Okay, on QAnon. It says the over 400 posts on 4chan by the entity known as QAnon. This is an intelligence agency bleaching operation. I mean, I don't really think he's talking about hairdresser type of bleaching. But, you know, it's the same thing. Kind of like bleaching sugar or bleaching the nutrition out of the food. I think Mr. Moggins is talking about a whitewashing kind of a thing. But anyhow, it's a bleaching operation. But don't call me to get it done, because the holistic stylist doesn't do that. Okay. Just as Assange, WikiLeaks have released legitimate intel of very high quality while intermingling quality data with misdirection. QAnon is seeding the Trump Savior program into the alternative media streams. This is not a single source vector. It is multiple operatives and several imposters funneling data alongside clever coding, revelation of the method, and oblique occult references. The BuzzFeed on the internets, plural, notably YouTube, by wannabe hipsters, new age patriot types, and neocon pundits, are simply the echo effect of the internet creating layers of mind space preemption to derail the actual grassroots work behind the scenes. Trump neither can nor will affect the groundswell changes required. He may be the smokescreen for the actual work, truth be told. In the end, the cabal is bankrupt with no remedies left. They are making runs at the funds in the cryptocurrencies, to date with little effect. So, when I just read that post, I would have to say that I could tag a dozen things in our list and relate it using both of my hands to how it plays in to the Elvis Presley mystery. Because, of course, for those of you that know about the mind control programs, it just wasn't little simple MK Ultra. Oh no, there's Monarch, Bluebird, Artichoke, a whole bunch of other ones. Why can't I remember? Oh, Paperclip is so important. That's when, all the people that did those medical experiments on those other poor people that, got baked in ovens and thrown in ditches. You remember that? Well, they came over here and started doing medical experiments and pharmacology work. So, we want to be so careful to not get these things twisted, because I see this huge war and people don't even know really what they're arguing about. So part of the fun in tonight's game is establishing some new terms, and we will be going over those. So you may want to get a pencil and a piece of paper or whatever you'll want to be scribble scratching around. Hey, you guys know that old Elvis song, right? I slipped, I stumbled, and I fell. You guys don't want me to sing. But anyhow, this new channel that I just subscribed to the other day. And there's a reason. They're in the phenomena. And this isn't really funny. But, like when you see all the public figures in those boots, like some people think, well, they're just clumsy and they're falling down, breaking bones. And then there's the other people that say, no, stoner, they got one of those monitoring ankles on, the thing to keep you in your home. If you go outside, it goes off. I guess they let them go wherever they want to go, except for something they're not supposed to go to. But I just wanted to play a snippet of this because I think it's really good. Okay. So if you're looking for worldwide dance, you can find that on YouTube also. And this was published on January 9th, 2018. I'm trying not to laugh. Just bear with me. You know how many times we felt like this, even if it didn't really like happen to us physically. I mean, you can't ask. Look at watch. Bam, takes her down. Now, dude's got some moves. Oh, I hope somebody else thinks this shit's funny other than me. I don't know. I mean, these are like great athletes. I'm not even kidding. Okay, so we've had enough of that. I was laughing. Oh Lord, no wonder we played this because see this next thing. It's kind of like when our dog Q, who was retarded, he was inbred too close. He stuck his head in an empty box of Cheerios, and he ran into a corner and knocked himself out, and he choked himself. So you got that old saying: you give yourself or you give somebody else enough rope, and they hang themselves, right? Okay, so last night when I was doing Elvis's big birthday, well, here comes the big gossip, that Oprah's running for president. And I mean, I got nothing against nobody for real, but part of my job as a remote viewer, they had me read some videos, some footage, etc., etc. And I'm here in Ferguson in the ghetto, right? And there was this restaurant down here that got devastated after the fires on West Florissant with Mike Brown. And of course, everybody was eyes on Ferguson, and they had to pick out some people to promote. And they got back up, but they got back up with President Winfrey's help, or what do you say, President-elect, and who even says that she? Okay, so anyhow, there she was managing this restaurant from Ferguson, and I didn't have a clue because for real, I don't have cable or satellite. Never have, never will. Kind of like I never had a VCR to record all my children. People don't believe me when I say I wasn't into electronics. But now, I mean, it's it's a whole different relationship, but that's because I quit being afraid of it. So, in the meantime, Oprah is #1 trending today because now, of course, all right, so we lost Facebook for a minute, but we're back. So we have #1 trending on Facebook because she wins the Cecil B. DeMille Award. And some people are really, really angry, not because they know about when I remote viewed the parasites on the people from the restaurant and all the boogie, and then you got a connector to the other boogie Chris, There's too much monkey business everywhere. And that's why I speak up and take the risks I do. But hashtag play the game with us. I got game pieces. It's like 21st century bingo. You're gonna love it. My friend Diego says this is getting better every day. And he's got one of them, weird face emojis, right? But the thing I want you to take into your hearts and your minds as well. Think about how this connects back to the Presley mystery. I mean, there's people that want to punch each other's lights out over whether Elvis's, twin Jesse lived or if they put him in a shoebox. And I keep telling people, come on, wake up, man. There's at least 3 of them. There's a blonde one. He was in the movie Kissing Cousins next to the dark-haired one. Don't tell me you think that's the same dude. They're not even the same height. Now they're going to tell you it's the same dude and that Blondie wore a wig, but your holistic stylist is calling bullshit. And if anybody knows hair and makeup, you know it's supposed to be me, and I have a national accreditation, so hopefully somebody can take this to heart instead of like wanting to kill the messenger, because of course I got a threatening thing today too. Wait till we read the threatening thing from the gal. I mean, she's probably falls into one of our categories we'll be discussing. Let's see which one it would be. So here's our categories for tonight. So if you have your pencil and paper, you may want to jot these down. And we're going to letter these instead of number. See, these are numbered from last night. Now we're going to add in letters. So this is what we're going to call the bank of trauma residue. You know, lost that Facebook connection again. Dadgummit. And see, I get traumatized, you know, when my live stream doesn't work. So I'm just going to put all good energy in and say, please, Mr. Computer Head, we're trying to work here. Okay, so A, Battle of the Sexes. B, Edifice Complex. And that's spelled E-D-E-P-H-U-S. Edifice. And if it's not spelled right, blow me sideways. Doesn't matter. Edifice complex. Do you know what it is? Let me tell you what the edifice complex is. You know, my buddy Jim Morrison, break on through to the other side, you know, the Doors. Well, he has this song where he wanted to kill his father and do something nasty to his mother, right? That's the edifice complex. So a lot of people think, here, let me switch it around. If you listen to international interviews given by the woman that you believe to be Queen Pris, okay, she's going to tell you that they didn't have sex until their wedding night. And then after she gave birth, that he didn't want to do her no more. That is the edifice complex. So you see, you go after a virgin. It's thought of as a battle or a conquest that you will win, and there will be a price to be paid. And you will seed your lineage. And then when you're done with that, see, you can't think of him as a lover anymore because somewhere in your head you got it twisted and you think it's your mom. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? Now, there are people that really do have it. It's a Freudian term. But keep in mind, Sigmund Freud sent cocaine in the mail to his fiance because all she wanted to do was hold hands under the table or like play footsies or something. He was totally tripped out by sex. So see, here you got this father of psychiatry who actually really had a mental condition that he turned into a cult following. And then because he has it, he points to somebody and says, you have it? But hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. While we're talking about all this Oprah stuff and all this edifice stuff and all this child trafficking stuff and so on and so forth, and he grabbed my boobie on the casting couch, but I'm a grown-ass woman, and I knew what I was getting into. See, those are all the shiny baubles in the carousel story. I mean, does anybody know this is about sodomy? And I'm telling you what, I ain't down with that. And it's like I told my kids, that is a one-way sphincter. Things only come out. So, you know, like refuse, not things that somebody's attacking you with. It's just not right. But the whole thing ties in together with this international syndicate of people that don't honor life. And they have a name. And I've spoke the name before. Since we're playing a game, we're going to keep it all light and fun. Let me give you the clue. You may think that it starts with the letter Z because it sounds like the letter Z, but sometimes they put a little T in front of that big Z, or they substitute the Z for an X. Thing is a drag about this. I mean, you think you got problems with Republicans and Democrats? Okay, so you got this group of people that don't honor life, that all their other kin, so we're talking about tribes, their other kin says, get the fuck out of here, man. You guys ain't right. You shouldn't be doing what you're doing to the food. And they say, you know what? We don't care because we're better than you. And then not only do they torture them, oh no, but they go ahead their own selves with their death cult. Death cult. And they create the dogma for the religious battles between the Christian faith, the Christian sects, whatever you want to call them, and even amongst the Muslims. So when you ask, why is there a bunch of cold-hearted people running around that don't even care about life and all they give a shit is their own self? Well, because that's what they signed up for, and some people call that selling your soul to the devil. But you know, I guess really if you have to feed your family and make your house payment and, you know, do all this, I mean, really, maybe some of them say, well, you know, I do it because they twisted my arm. I mean, it's whatever you need to believe to get through it. But if I were you guys, I would play the game to win, because see, you can say you don't want to play the game, and believe you me, I told my buddy Randy Moggins, I don't even like playing stupid games. You know, it's boring. I mean, I thought games were like Yahtzee or Uno, spades, you know, stuff like that. And I've been involved with having to play the game and like it. And like I told Randy, now you give me a good game where I have a chance instead of a stacked game. Like, don't tell me you like to play games and take my ass to Vegas and get me to want to think I want to gamble. It's not a game of skill. Give me a game of skill. And so that's why we're playing the game. I didn't know I was going to play the game, but next thing you know, man. Okay. Now, I want to read you my post that I put in the album Party of Our Life. And I said, Ben Quint does not allow comments. Does he know what he's missing? Ha ha. You know, like he doesn't know my witty comments. Because I told you, I know this roster of noble merry men all know one another. Okay, let's check it out. And here again, I'm not stepping on no toesies, but I just wanted to show you this. Let's see what happens when I enlarge the screen. Can you see it? I'm never sure with this. Sometimes people think I do it on purpose, and it's like, no, man, I don't know. I mean, I was completely computer illiterate when I came online. I mean, give me a break. Kind of like I was asking Joe about the categories, and he wants to get all over technical on one. I said, man, I've never even played the game yet. I'm making up the rules tonight. I just want to know if you think I missed a category. So I'll extend that invitation to anyone involved in this game that we're playing. If you think I left anything out, please get a hold of me and give me another category. The way I looked at it, like I said, was the bank of trauma residue. And then I looked at the mind control programs. So, we have 3 that are trauma: Battle of Sexes, Oedipus Complex versus Deviant Oversexed Devil. Remember, we left off on Oedipus Complex. So some people think Elvis couldn't keep it in his pants and, would bang anything and had no respect for women, while other people think he was a complete mental case when it came to it in the reverse opposite way. And of course, like I said, if they can fragment you before the age of 7, that's how they create these alters, these alternate personalities, multiple personalities. Now, if you have multiple people, all of a sudden you look like you're a multiple personality. So let me just break this down for you real quick instead of looking at this beautiful face all night. Okay. I mean, let's just be sincere. I think Miley Cyrus has one of the most beautiful voices that I've ever heard. I also think she's very intelligent. I think she has a lot of potential. Now, I'm talking about the one that she wears her hair normal and she kind of dresses like a hippie. I mean, hey, who am I to say how people dress? But, there's the one that looks normal, looks casual, looks like she's a normal, regular young adult. But I promise you, that one is not the same one that straps on the dildo and wears the cones. See, these are the doppelgangers. And like we talked about on the game the other night, so let's keep this in mind. And this is why you must play the game. You have no choice. I hate to tell you. So you get on your computer. And for some people, this started 25 years ago, right? So as you start exchanging with the artificial intelligence, it's like one of those dopey-ass cartoons or video games. So it pops up a biometric of you. Like, here's the pretend one and here's the real one. Okay, and it's like a game. Play the game with us. You say, all right. And so everything you do on your computer and all your biorhythms and your intentions and your biorhythms and yakety squack, it all goes into making up that entity, that persona, whatever it may be. Now, I think the way this works is as these poor people lose a little piece of themselves every day, for whatever reason it is that the box has got them, giving them the stranglehold, the percentage is going up over here. So by the time that you get to that 99%, and then it goes to 100, it's just like on YouTube where you can upload your video. So I think they hit print. I think they hit upload or download. Like if they hit download, put that shit in a 3D printer. I don't know, or a hologram. You see what I mean? You can't believe how far ahead they are. I mean, I'm not making this stuff up. This has been going on. So anyhow, you don't want that to have to happen. And I think that that's what happened to our political leaders. I think that's what happened to what they call our celebrities, which would be actors, actresses, singers, songwriters. But when they squeezed the life out of these people and took away their intellectual property, all of a sudden they made them like puppets, like performing puppets versus being creative artists that create intellectual property. And of course, I know all about that because I come online and you know what happens to me. Now, fortunately, I have a big enough mouth and a big enough computer and a big enough group of friends with hearts. I mean, real people to where they know. And maybe there's never been anybody that's collected all the data, but next time you ask me why my computer's full, don't bother to ask. Okay, let's get back to Facebook. Just X out of there. And that one is the working one. We'll leave this one up. Okay. All right, we've talked a lot. I'm farther down this list than I knew. I shared this 2 years ago, and this is from Illuminati Exposed. This is the resistance, Providence, Freedom, and it says harmful if swallowed. You know, and it says mainstream. But see, 2 years ago, nobody knew that the alternative media had been infiltrated by the same parasite that infiltrated, you know, the mainstream where the normal people are. And at this point, I mean, you really got to say, thank God for divine intervention. You know, here again, believe me, don't. It makes me no difference. But the internet will be cleaned up. Our world will be cleaned up. And this situation will be completely exposed. There's no stopping it. Okay. So in a perfect world, I imagine telling you about my day and like all the shit that happened. You know, this guy, I mean, he's really good. He's like a performance artist and he's on a treadmill doing acrobats and walking, and I mean, he's king of cool. Now, this is, let me pull that up for you so you can see it. El Hame Cirque. I'm sure it's French. LHOMMECIRQUE. It's a concert tour. Huh, that's cool. All right. Now, this is funny shit. So, you know, you're stepping in something that smells. When the very people that want you to share tell you the attachment's unavailable. Well, see, they know who's who and what's what. And so this was a puff piece somebody was putting out, if I had to interpret what this was. But yeah, they wouldn't allow me to share this. I mean, I do live right down the street from Monsanto. You know, maybe they think I'm, you know, buddies with them or something. Kind of like Oprah. I mean, is she buddies with Harvey? Is Trump really taking her down? Hey, wait a second. I still want to know. I mean, I'm a simple woman. I just want a couple answers. And I've played the game by the rules. So here's what I want to know. If I had one question I could ask Donald Trump, just one, just the one question, right? I would want to hear his speech about how his best friend Elvis was always sitting right behind him. And I mean, he was waving to him going, "Hi, Elvis," you know, and then all the different faces of this Elvis. So one had plastic surgery and was all tightened up. The other one had theatrical makeup on. They glued a wig on one of them. I mean, it's a crock of shit. And then people are giving me a hard way to go because I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. See, that's the program. People would be much more happy to stay in their misery because it's too much work to heal their inner child or to come to terms or to forgive themselves or forgive somebody else. And we got a party. So I like this. And I'm just going to, here again, not going to get in any trouble. I never get in trouble. Do I? Okay. So they're not letting me play this right now, and that's okay. Let me just tell you about it. We got Mo, Larry, and Curly, and they say that, you know, it's a lot of NYUKS. So that's, remember that with the Stooges? So they're having a party, and they're shooting off these bottles of champagne everywhere. And I just kind of like felt like that worked into Elvis's birthday party well, because you remember in our video, whoever that international man of mystery is, he likes to get down. I mean, not like this, you know, okay. So, anyhow, of course she knew. See, she knew. Now, I want to tell you, Yash Sharma, okay? For real, I think that we have a way that we can give Oprah a chance to show her true colors, because I think there's more than one. Just like Trump, I think there's more than one. Just like Elvis, I believe there was more than one. I think there was this many. Good grief. Everybody acts like they never heard of splitting a zygote or having a twin or having in vitro or growing a kid in a pod. They do them all now. It's bullshit. Okay, so anyhow, I can't really talk about it, but I can give you a coded message. So check this one out. I can't barely look at you though, Oprah. But I'm just going to move you along so I don't have to look at your face when I tell the story. Okay. A couple weeks ago, I got a friend request from somebody that there's no way in hell they could know me. There's no way they'd even want to be my friend. I'm not the same religion. And I'm not fancy pants enough for them. I mean, this person is so high up in their particular flavor of religion. Because, you know, they season it with a bunch of crap. Okay? But anyhow, dude's the big boss, right? And he's sending me a friend request. And you know I wasn't born yesterday, and I'm pretty good at this stuff. So I go over like Sneaky Suze would do and check out the page. Now there's only one person there. And it's a friend. It's a mutual teammate. And I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to look at this shit, huh? So what I do when I do this kind of thing, hey, I don't know. I can't do a demonstration and tell this story. I thought I was going to try to be cool, but let me continue. Okay, so when I get over there and I run down the feed, originally, there's only 4 posts there. And 2 of them are from someone that this person would have no relationship with. I mean, they're a million worlds apart. And the little one is sending the big one stuff. Okay, now you got to realize this dude doesn't want to be my friend. Somebody that's trying to expose him says, hey, look what I can do. I can give you just enough to expose this dude. Let's see how smart you are. Okay, I say I'll play the game. And I checked some things out and took some screenshots. And of course, these are all safe and secure in Sue's world. And I don't know what the hell to do with it, but you know what? I don't even like it on my phone. It is nasty. Now, little did I know how nasty it was because I didn't go back to visit that place. It gave me the creeps, right? But then here comes Facebook, poking me, saying, Suze, the poobah's waiting on you. You got to answer dude's friend request. And I'm like, well, they don't do that for my regular friends. So there must be something going on. Like somebody's hitting you in the head saying, wake up, right? So I go back. And sure as shit, there's another friend of mine there. And they're both going like this. I mean, not really. It's just a picture, right? But now it's two. And I say, okay. Well, you wouldn't believe what I found then. Now, this post that I just couldn't look at no more says that she knew about all this. And of course, the people in our inner circle already knew. I mean, we also knew Santa Claus wasn't real. Give us a break, But anyhow, she is known to like to give these poor refugee children in the places they live that were devastated by strategically planned warfare tactics of multiple kinds, that she puts her money there. It's a great place to get the stock you need to do business because, it's a textile industry. You're going to cut things up, sew them together, take things out, trade them. What you don't use one way, you can use another way. I mean, there was a woman. You know who it was? Okay, so the other night, Randy Moggins and Emily Moyer had this really cool gal on. I had never met her yet. I think her name's Sonia. Not sure. Beautiful woman of color. Because, you can't say somebody's this or that. We're all way more than what we know. But anyhow, the way she explained it was that the way they did this to us all is that the slaves that picked cotton on the top of the hill under the nice tree, see, they didn't really know they were slaves because they were too busy looking down at the people that worked lower out in the beaten sun and saying, well, they're the real slaves because I got a tree. Okay, now, going back to this bullshit with the Emmys or the Grammys or whatever thing was just on when she's in the dress and, she's pushed up and she can't breathe because it's all so tight. What she was doing was ramping up everybody, on that Me Too thing. So now it's cool. If everybody says, well, I was too. I mean, it's kind of like crying wolf at this point. And if a grown woman can't take care of herself, maybe I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I can't say I've been in that position. I am way too big of a pain in the ass for that, right? But I say, maybe what I should do with those pictures is go ahead and kick them up into a video. And I can change the color of the picture of dude so I wouldn't get in trouble. But if he asks me to be his friend, I can look at his pictures too. So see, maybe I'll make him neon or vintage, I'll make it not so obvious that you don't go, oh, fuck, I know who that dude is. And we'll put together some of the best pictures. And then those will become game pieces too. And if she really means what she says, well, then she'd help all those people that her friend that's from the same town she is. So don't tell me that you don't know the dude that wants to be my friend, because you know everybody in Chicago. And this dude knows everybody in Chicago. So I bet you're like this with him, just like you're like that with him. It might just be the straw that broke somebody's back, too. I'm not really sure. So if anybody out there knows what I'm talking about, and they can like send me, a Pony Express message that can't get intercepted, stick it in a bag, ride a horse, hide it behind the rock, whatever. Because I'm really highly debating on what to do with those filthy ass pictures. Lost Facebook for another second, but that's okay. All right. I did make a live event today, play the game with us. And of course, we're going to look at our easy to follow games, our card games, right after this scheduled break. So let me tell you this story. And before I do, I got to tell you this story. And if I'm not nuts, I'm going to say Randy shared this too. And I think this is how my morning started out. I'm not quite sure. But here's the point. In this video, Atlas 551 is launched. And this is a rocket going up into the stratosphere, right? And when it gets up so high, well, here it says, this is a normal rocket launch. Many people state that they don't go 90 degrees up. And then you get into the whole argument of flat Earth or round Earth or, the Matrix or the Borg. Watch closely what happens next may prove the waters above. Right. See, the people in the inner circle already knew. It's not just space out there. You don't know where you're at. And you can't find home unless you know who you are. So anyhow, they get up there, they hit water, and I guess they go swimming. I'm not sure. Now, when it comes to last night, okay, so you guys, I did not live stream my huge birthday event for Elvis last night on Facebook. The only reason why is because I went Patreon straight to Google Plus with a beta stream, which is really cool, through the iPhone. And then up here on the computer, I zoomed it. I used my Zoom Room Pro account. Now tonight, you see what's going on because I wanted to get this on Facebook as well. My iPhone right here is Facebook Live. My computer right here, I went over to the YouTube and typed in my Patreon, and poof, I type in what I want to do and hit go. And so this screen is Google Plus. And if I couldn't have found my card deck, sure as anything, I was going to show you right here. And so you can see over to the right of my head. There's our game pieces. But we also have them on the computer. So before we get into the game, you have a incredible thing to watch, which I think is so cool. But anyhow, okay, 3 hours and 48 minutes last night. And I have 2 ways to capture the image because, believe me, I've had things taken away. So the first one it let me have, so I mean it was uploaded on YouTube, was a 48-minute and 40-second cut out of the center, which was really good. I mean, it really was. It didn't have nothing to do with Elvis's birthday. So I was thinking, okay, you know, this band of merry men or Mr. Computerhead or Mr. AP #1 International Man of Mystery, who knows who? I don't know. I have true plausible deniability. You know, they could torture me and I still wouldn't know. And they know that because I'm truthful and they're monitoring me. So I don't know who did it. But I was like, all right, man, where's the other 3 hours? Well, then they gave me another 2-minute snippet from the start. And I'm like, I'm not trying to be a bitch, but I want to see my whole show. Fourth time here on the iPhone. Come back. Come on, please. We'll give it about 30 seconds and then we'll kick it back up. We're going to see. Let me touch it. Let me lay some loving on it. Come back. Okay. Well, we're going to finish this one and we will kick it back up. So we'll go ahead. Back to the story. When I got up this morning, did I have a nice surprise waiting for me? So let me post that video. You guys are on break for a minute. I'm sorry if you're bored for a minute. People, in my opinion, bring such marginal shows sometimes. That's why they like to holler at somebody if they're 30 seconds down. So we're rolling right now. That means we can't go back immediately live right now. So we'll let it go. And they're going to have to miss this. But we're going to still go ahead and get it on the live stream. And that way we can share it to Facebook later. So I get up this morning. And whatever benevolent force did this, they made me a lovely 10-minute video. And the only thing it's named is Elvis Wears His Birthday Suit 2018. And like you guys know, or maybe you don't, the name of the video from yesterday was Elvis 83rd Birthday Bash. You don't go full CW chanter or something like that. So this one doesn't have nothing to do about none of that. And it's 10 minutes and I got my phone back up. So we're going to go ahead and give Facebook one chance. That's all they get because I don't wait for no machine. Let me turn the volume up.
Zip, Mr. Shit.
All right, and we're back. We're watching a 10-minute video that some dear intelligence put together to show the truth. We're looking at 3 different signatures, by the way. That'll give you something to tune in on. I'll be right back. Sing to yourself if you need to, right?
I won't deny that the guy could sing, but that's all he was, just a singer.
So what about his hair? His beautiful. He was born blonde. Did you know that?
Dingus, get down. What are you doing on the computer? All right, get moving. That's the face. People are terrible. Oh, look at it. Look at that face. Right, that should be obvious. That is not Elvis. That is not Elvis. I'm sorry. I hope this doesn't shock anybody. Yeah, that's not Elvis either. Did I mention that? I'm so glad you guys found your way back to take two after we got took down. Cousin Mike and my buddy William Russell. Dadgummit. Love you guys. You got your paper and pen ready to play the game?
How about dreams?
That's not Elvis either. And that's not photoshopped. That's classic.
Of changing their life for the better. Simply because you could. Or have you spent your time hating the man who did?
Yeah, the gal went off on me big for putting that video out there.
His music.
This is a common creative use. It's been around for years. Everybody loves it.
Charity.
I'll tell you the story about. Ooh, there's the thunder at the big yellow house. I'll tell you the story about the kooky gal next, and then we'll get to our game pieces because I don't know if she'll be first or in the middle or where she is, but I'll bring it up now and then we won't forget. But let's just look at pictures for now. It's almost too much at times. Yeah, that's not Elvis either. Taken by, right, picture taken by Judy, his sister. If you stop that on your own, you know, you go back on the video, you can read the whole thing. I just couldn't type it all in that prompt box. Would have been too small. There's your Rare Elvis on Facebook, in Facebook, wherever it is. I saw one they made today that says, Rare Elvis, no Facebook. I was like, you guys are going to get your butts whooped. Play babies. Family tree. That's my 120-year-old kaleidoscope. I got it right here to show you guys.
Come on, everyone knows it was the drugs. It wasn't the drugs.
And it wasn't.
Yeah, it was so much fun. Right.
Hit 5 my ass.
Mm-hmm. Watch this.
I got the weight of my world On my shoulders. Yeah.
See that flashing light?
Wow, that was there again. Ooh.
They're directly messing with me when they do that on the computer. It's just like saying hi. It's not a scary thing. I don't want you guys to get freaked out. Number one is double trouble. Master number or coded message. And I'm incognito. See, you can't tell that's me.
Keep trying, Flaming Star.
Mhm. I never had an Elvis album all my born days. Kind of like I didn't share a post about him 2 years ago. Are you kidding? But that's the real deal right there on the Real Deal album cover. Oh, shit. There was 2 real deals, man. I'm sorry. Oh, wait. There was a third one, too. So, remember back to the movies. And sometimes we see the long face with the hairy chest. Other times we see the short face. And the short face has very smooth skin and not curly body hair. The other one's got that kind of chest hair that comes creeping out of the top of the shirt if he doesn't wax. Which, I mean, I think hair on a guy is fine, but I don't want to have to call you Magilla, you know? Clipper that shit down. It's called manicure it. I don't know if you saw that or not. Whoever.
You know they're up to fun. I got flashing videos like this.
Now why should it drink from oh shit?
Right, you can't get that line right once in this song.
That's me giving him the face. You know.
Here's
Yeah, here's that's all I got to say. Look at this picture. Look what they were trying to pass off to me. This is an SKMI production. Right.
Bill Marshall.
Oh, I love it.
Willis. This is the other one. A Grizzleman.
Okay. Now seriously. Okay, seriously. I'm going to tell you this story about this little movie they made, but I'm going to give you a picture to look at while I do it. And this is basic human anatomy 101, okay? Now we're going to do an anatomy class. That's a coded message. So I'm going to give you a picture, and I'm going to tell you a quick story. And I'm going to let you look at the picture. And I'm going to tell the story about this movie. And I'm not going to look at the picture because I sometimes have a hard time focusing. Sometimes it's just too much. Let me find the picture. Oh, I'll find it. Don't you worry. Okay. All right. So let me tell you guys the story about these guys that made this video clip. Okay. So in this video, these 2 guys go and tie up the guy that you saw tied up at the kitchen table to talk to him about what his problem was with Elvis, because he was always saying rotten things about him, and that's why in the video it starts out saying, well, he was just a singer, wasn't he? Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay, so anyhow, those 2 guys, those 2 nice guys in the Elvis suits, see, they really care about Elvis and they follow in his ways. And Elvis didn't believe in taking care of things with violence. He believed in taking care of things with love, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, they've told a couple bad stories about him shooting TVs and threatening to have people killed and, you know, all that stuff. But here again, that's part of the program, unless he answers, or someone that would be his son would answer, or that he wrote it in his own writing. That would be the only answer. If you're taking answers from the gal that tells you she only had sex with him when she was pregnant, then you're nuttier than a Christmas fruitcake. I'm just saying, there is nothing but monkey business going on. So, in the meantime, the one guy in the Elvis suit, and it's not in this 10-minute video, he has a little itty bitty pocket knife. And he's standing behind the guy, and the guy's terrified, thinking he's going to get killed with a pocket knife, right? But he tells him, you know, I mean, you're forgiven. Just don't be a little bitch no more. And of course, they, cut those ropes that they had him tied with. And that is the whole thing behind the clip. So the two guys go out, and you saw him singing, his truth is marching on, and magically, poof, they're gone. Well, that's why the guy was looking out the door saying, what's up? Where'd they go? Okay, so my buddy Tony Tatum, the master pimp daddy Mac player, my buddy from Lutheran North, Mr. Slick himself, is here in the audience. So, Tony Tatum. Now, I'm not trying to embarrass nobody, sweetheart, because I know you like to wear nice suits. Okay. Do you know why I call this his birthday suit? Now, I ask this to people all the time. I ask it to men. I ask it to women. Look I can see my screen bouncing. That's funny. I'm seeing this screen bouncing and pulsing. That is too much. Okay, so anyhow, I've asked everybody. And of course, because they're way too modest and don't know nothing about the human body, they don't know. So, like I said, you know what? You are free to make the choice. If you ain't got no panties on the dance floor. You see what I'm saying? And don't think I'm a bad girl for seeing that. I mean, I'm a woman. Good grief. You want to look at the entire thing. Just, it's what people do. They look at each other. Do I have to point it out for you? And I'll tell you what. They wouldn't have let our boy Elvis hang free and easy like that. They wouldn't even let him swivel his hips around. So you guys just work on that. And I think it's time to play the game. We're warmed up. I'm feeling ready to go. Elvis wears his birthday suit. Sure he does. Is there any... I can't play it. And I can't play it. And oh my gosh, I can't play it. But you know what? You guys should come over to my channel sometime. This is funny shit. This is what happened when you asked Jesus to take you instead. So in this one, dude is deceased and he's in the casket. And she's doing her wailing, and saying, oh, please take me, Lord, please take me. And poof, here comes Jesus through the door and says, all right, girl, let's go. And then she's like, whoa, dude, you are too trippy for me. And so poof, he reanimates her deceased husband. And he says he's got to take somebody. And, she says, MF, you ain't taking me. So now she's cussing head cheese out, right? I think that's how sometimes people think about it. It doesn't work like that. And hey, all I got to say is one thing. And I'm going to carefully say it, okay? So you got her and her buddies, you know, and they're the high rollers of the town that run shit, right? They all got a, you know, a foot and a hand and every other thing in this deal. Well, what the party line is that, you know, more than anything, we needed to keep Graceland intact and never sell it. Now, she's calling Graceland, and so are they. The entire, I think they said over 200,000 square foot complex. So you got the new place where people stay and sleep, you know, the guest house. But that was the place that had all the Legionnaire's disease, and we covered that, and there's lawsuits. And when you do, okay, so as a remote viewer, when I saw what I saw with the boogie boogie spell casting and the parasites, see, I think people are going to get sick when they go there. And I think a lot of people are sick when they already go, because if you watch the 24-hour cams, most people are not in good health to go to visit. Now, back in the day, when I was on the SKMI trail, and then the next thing you know, they're flipping my screen and showing me different things like the Oprah thing and the Graceland thing, which was all on the same flip and run. Huh. Okay. Well, long story short, the ill people were going to Graceland, being greeted, taken inside, and having a church service. And this is when they were trying to pull off the idea that Bob Joyce, you know, who they were trying to force into the role of Elvis. And keep in mind, there was two Joyces too, Bob and Robert. Now you got that war going. And they're both preacher men. But anyhow, the one allegedly was Jessie, who allegedly she would be married to. And, you know, the switcheroo at the grave and yakety squack. And you know what that is? That's what they call the looshing of energy. And you take it however you want. I'm not going to go any farther than that. Let's play the game. Elvis, I'll never know. There's Mr. AP's handiwork. Okay, just walk away from it. Get back up to the game pieces. People got to get to bed. People got to do something. I'm not sure what. Okay, now, like I said, we've got A, Battle of the Sexes. B, Edifice Complex versus Deviant, oversexed angel, you know, the oversexed devil dude. And then you've got C, the religion, which would be, you know, the devil and the angel story and the dogma and all that. These are reasons why people are saying stupid shit on the comment section. This is the game we're playing. Why do these people say such ridiculous, hateful, spiteful, sad, traumatized, miserable things? Because they don't know what they're talking about. Okay. Now, remember too, besides those three, A, B, and C, we got psychopath or sociopath, military, government, either or, institutions. Look at it across the board. The love versus fear, and that's the true meaning of war. The trigger handler, which is the energy transfer. Just like we talked about at the Graceland thing. They're going to charge you $60 to go cry at his grave, full well knowing that he ain't in that grave. I mean, let's be serious. And at the same time, they're going to sell them. Okay, so I got these for Christmas. And these are official EPE stock shit. They are the most cheap made thing. Elvis would be, you know what? He wouldn't appreciate it. somebody's going to slip and hurt themselves. And of course, I don't know how much these cheap ass things cost, but of course, underneath it says, "Don't step on my blue suede shoes." And you can see that we have dogs and cats, so there's already hair on them, and they're, you know, you've got the one signature. You know how many fake signatures they've been selling, by the way? Do you know they're selling all Elvis's stuff off, by the way? And do you know that my bottom line on this is still this? Elvis loved all of the people of Memphis. And to know that they tore down all of those people's histories, just like what's going on all over the United States. I see it here in Ferguson. But, you know, to say that all this other crap they've built is now Graceland, and it's all one and the same. See, that's kind of like when Oprah was doing her big whoop-de-doo speech and tying all that shit in together. And then you got all those women sitting, hugging and crying together because, yeah, nobody's going to get hurt again. I mean, I don't know if these people even know that these kids are getting sodomized and used in blood libel rituals. Here again, remember, there's always going to be two, the true one and the doppelganger. And remember, if you don't connect your personal life with your professional life and have right livelihood mission, you ain't no better than a doppelganger because they got you split. All right, time to play the game. So this would be number 1. We're going 1 through 57. This is my Christmas show. And believe it or not, SME has blocked it in my own country on copyright grounds. There wasn't anything in there that would have justified that. But you see, these corporations have taken the role of God. And like I told you, back in 2013, so SME better get their heads up out of their asses. The Supreme Court overruled being able to ban things just because it didn't come from the United States. So what you're doing, SME, is you're currently banning the music that Mr. AP sings out of his own flippin' vocal cords. And y'all think, well, either you guys are so stupid or you think we're so stupid that we don't know the difference one from the other, so you're going to block them all? Silly move. And that's why I suggest y'all come to my YouTube and meet these international artists because once you listen to these nice, normal, regular people play music, and then you go back and listen to your mainstream horse shit that they turn into rituals on TV and everybody oogles over them. You know, that's kind of like saying you believe in small business, but you go to Walmart. It's a cheap imitation. So, does that fit any? I mean, because really they're just stupid. I would say if I had to pick one for this, and I'm not going to give my answers out, but this one is automatically hard for me. I would have to put this under D, sociopath or psychopath. Now, don't you babies worry at all about mama, because I got that video on a playlist, which means that what I'll do is I'll go back in and I'll find exactly what they're squawking about. And I'll just go over that part. I won't play that part. I'll run it as a live stream. And it's really no big deal. Sure, you're trying to reconnect again. We're back. Good deal. So I'll get that show back up, but that was my Christmas show. And that's the show where we call out CW chanters. So I do keep the answer at D because the people he runs with are the very people that we speak of that don't have any regard for life nor love, and they're all about the program. Birds of a feather. Number 2. Okay, so in this one, you can see that this is nice, and the reason that I shared this one is because people are saying happy birthday, and you see we have more than one language. And what you will notice, and I don't want anybody to get their feelings hurt, it's the international community that honestly kept his memory alive and loved him. And believe it or not, on that Chris video that we just left, they actually still have the audacity. I mean, this is how stupid they think Elvis fans are, to say that he never recorded an album outside of the United States but one time. Liar, liar, pants on fire. And I gave the example of the band Dire Straits the other night. Dire Straits is from Scotland. Dire Straits came to America and hit it big, signed a contract. Now, when they go home to Scotland and they do a concert over there, believe it or not, until 2013, when they put it up on YouTube, all of us in America couldn't see it, just like my band video. So in 2013, that got put to rest, but it's still not being enforced across the board, obviously. And I think part of the takedown will be, and it is, you have to clean it up. And these corporations need to clean up their act. I agree with what's on the table, that anyone that holds an office, whether it's state, local, federal, anyone that has a professional license, anyone that runs any kind of a place, I mean, give them the damn test. And you know what? If they're a psychopath and they run Monsanto, let's say, well, there must be one noble, righteous person amongst that family there that could turn that place around, right? I mean, we're the home of Roundup, right? Jeez, and now they want to poison the weed. Great. Get everybody wanting grass and poison it all. See, that's underhanded, man. That's dirty. That's psychopathic. Okay, so I thought you might enjoy this. This is number 2. I can't believe we're no farther than number 2. And this is my funny ass. So, see, I am Suze Pratt on YouTube, but my real channel is a channel called Sue's World Emporium. So write that down. But that's another story for another day. So when you see the Sues up there right under Elvis, those are from the sessions where he's playing the piano and singing Mary in the Morning, by the way. But this is what I'm saying to him as Sue's World Emporium. And sure as shit, you know he knows it's me. He knows everything that's going on. But I like to be fun. So I said, love you from Sue's World Emporium. You may remember me from the comments I've logged in with the Suze Pratt. LOL, you see. And then we have someone, of course, saying they love him forever. Thank you. And notice the spelling of the 2 A's. Now, everybody in the international community, and I mean everybody, acknowledges him as Elvis Aaron with 2 A's Presley, stateside. Oh my gosh. Here's the story stateside. We have two of them. Story number one. Elvis was too honest to lie about the name that would be on his grave since he faked his death. So that's why the grave has that spelling, because the real Elvis spelled it Aron. Now, instead of getting in a fight and wanting to punch somebody out, could we agree to disagree that it very well may be possible that I'm right? There was more than one, and the stateside one spelled his with one A. The international spelled his with two A's. I mean, could it be? And here's the reason I say that. Let's take my maiden name of Glasscock. We spell it with one S. But the true ones that held to tradition, I would say, that are still in the old country and wherever that may be, they would spell it with two S's. Now, when I was exploring and investigating on the international side, of course, the whole thread was about Presley with one S or two. And then, to one up that, there was actually a story along the way that the reason why the name on the grave is spelled incorrectly is because Vernon was too stupid to know how to spell Aaron. And see, that's what gets me the most. My whole life growing up, the people I knew made fun about Europeans like they were backwards. And here stateside, we got people that are belittled, that grow up poor, or that don't go to college. I mean, what? Innovative America doesn't understand about educating the self? I mean, higher knowledge comes from within. You don't need somebody to shove you into it and then to pass judgment on you. You know what you know, you do what you do, and you excel at what makes your heart sing. But that's okay. Everybody in America, you see, is backwoods, inbred, uneducated morons. And this would be the story coming out of our own camp against our own people. No different than turning the African American community against the Caucasian community. We'll use big words. You know, they don't give a shit. They'll take white people and turn them against each other because one's not Catholic and the other is Methodist. I mean, we can go on and on. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so this is a nice one. And, of course, we got no issues here. No problems.
Stop.
Here's me again. See, Suze Pratt was only making little emojis for a while because she got the coded message. I mean, this is me I'm talking about. That no matter how hard I try, I cannot keep up with these guys. And I need to move out of the way so they can get up ahead of me. And I get that because what's being orchestrated is a finely tuned dance. So I got quiet. I had to watch what the enemy camp was doing, decode their messages. and do holiday hair and stay peaceful, because that was important. So, okay. I was just icons. But then I thought, you know what? Let's take it up a level. So here, what I wrote is Mr. AP #1 is also known as Adam Presley. No doubt many know him as the international man of mystery. If you dig deep enough and think about it, he is the sunshine. Get it? Do you guys know? Like sometimes I'll say good morning, sunshine, and I'll always spell it S-O-N instead of S-U-N, because we are all sons and daughters. So, you know, it's a little wordplay. It's another lovely one. We got no worries. See, this game's easy. Oh, shit. The minute I say that, here's the cuckoo. So, you remember I told the story about this. So this gal that doesn't even have the courage to put a flippin' face on her emoji says, oh, and her name is Donna Hill. That's original. Commented, quote, "Let me be the first to comment on this trash. What the hell is this supposed to tell people? And what does it have to do with his birthday? It's obvious you hate Elvis. What's with typing this man? Oh, what's with tying this man up?" Okay. Now, this one I can answer. I mean, you guys are welcome to pick whatever you want, but myself, this falls under the fantasy one, which is H. And this is number 4. Right, this is number 4. Okay, so that is H. And this is the fantasy. Now, what do I mean by the fantasy? A lot of these people that are totally tripped out when they cry and say their shit, they say there could only be one Elvis and there could only be one voice like his, and they fucking wail and moan like they know how his voice was. I mean, at all the given times he was singing, from the time that he was 19 to the time that he was 42. I mean, she's a fucking genius, isn't she? So you see what she's done is she is so traumatized by seeing these pictures that are not Elvis that she thinks that I hate him. And that is really weak. I mean, because you can see that there's something there that she herself hates. She capitalizes hell. She might be a little bit of a fire and brimstone bitch too. You never do know. But I'm not going to call her a psycho or a sociopath. I'm just going to say that she lives in a dream world. She is asleep with her eyes wide ass open, not knowing what's going on. Somebody needs to probably tie her up. Okay, next up. Okay, so there's a neat channel if you guys want to go check it out. And it's called John David Allen or Allen David. John David Allen. Try that one first. And I don't know if you remember the movie The Girl Can't Help It. That, I guess it was Jane Mansfield or somebody. I mean, ginormous boobs and like a 19-inch waist. And she kind of looks like that Roger Rabbit cartoon girl they made with the red hair, but she's blonde. And there was definitely a coded message in this one. And so I clicked that picture because, of course, it's always interesting to see what's underneath it. And so the message we get there is we don't meet anyone by accident. And I always say that's true. That these are synchronicities, these are tags, these are confirmation of spirit. This is spiritual family. We could go on for 20 minutes about what that means. But you see, that's why I clicked that picture, because I felt that was important. And then here we have somebody poking their head out, and it says Elvis Presley, I'll be with you. Okay, so let's start the game out and put somebody's name in there. Let's put Mr. Vic's name in there. Okay, so now we're on number 5. And this is, you know, like where you go and you get your messages, right? So you can see, I already read you this one. So this is my message to, now see, it's not like Adam Presley is my friend on Facebook, so I can't type his name in and just expect something to come up. Let's go ahead and put Robert Phoenix in there. All right. And then, of course, you see, this is interesting. Now, this Ongo Bongo replied, Suze Pratt, so you don't know it then. And you know, when people make comments like, you don't know it then. Well, what we're talking about is quantum computers and the 5D thing, and I was trying to hip them to what was going on, and these Dilberts don't know, so I had a couple going off on me, and that's cool. Doesn't really bother me. This is another one from Party of Our Life. Oh, that's my album. This is Jane Mansfield. You know, the girl can't help it, that one. So maybe we should make this Randy Morgan's. Yeah, let's say we make that one Randy. Okay, now, John David Allen. Remember we were talking about John David Allen? The way I knew that him and Mr. AP were friends was because the music he plays, like when they say 2009, take 4, 2004, take 7, 2002. Well, see, I had heard that first on Mr. A.P., Adam Presley International Man of Mystery, #1, on that channel originally. Everybody thanks him for sharing those pictures. He started sharing 10 years ago, and he's got a voice that passes pretty daggum close for the one everybody's traumatized over. And I promise you, you don't live here in the United States. Are you kidding? Okay. So, who do we want to put here? Hey, I can't scroll. I'm on a limited choice here. I'm not trying to pair anybody up or match make, but we got to do it. So, we're putting Emily Moyer there. And we're putting Shane there. You know, I don't know. I'm just playing. And see, remember, I was doing all those, but I gave him the check mark. This is the one that has a particular message that I wanted him to know I got. And that's why I said, get it, got it, good. Thank you very much. See, people don't think about how important checking a comment section is when they get to a page. You can find out if they're confrontational. You can find out, we'll see certain ones that it's just like everybody's fighting. And this is this bank of trauma residue that I refer to. Now, in this one, I just got to meet this beautiful woman, Julie London, for the first time. This was before our day. And she's singing. He's kind of like infatuated with her, not that she's a ghost, but she's not there. She's not real. And him and the gal with the huge boobs and the little waist really love each other. So I said, right, crying over a ghost isn't living like a great spirit. And that's a line from Bulworth. And I said, thanks for the intro to Julie, because she's very talented. Okay, here we go. Now, this is one of those obviously manipulated photographs. And, you know, of course, they put Love Elvis on it, and they got some other things up here. But I wanted to focus on the comments. And so she's saying, aw, isn't that cute? And then she's saying, ever seen this one? I love it. So she's just happy to see anything and thinks it's cute. She's very sweet. And then, of course, she says, no, me neither. And then one says, because it looks fake. Ding, 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 ding. So wait till they realize, and I love this. So on a lot of these pages, they'll say, no Photoshop pictures allowed. And their dumbasses are sharing Photoshop pictures. Stupid is as stupid does. Now, in this picture, and remember, go check out Rare Elvis on Facebook. You could look up Rare Elvis. It'd be a musician band page. You could look up Rare Elvis on Facebook. And you can also look up Rare Elvis in Facebook. And they are all different takes on the same thing. Okay. So, of course, this sweet gal is thanking Ron, because it's his creativity that created Rare Elvis on Facebook. So basically, Ron, Rare Elvis, definitely buddies with Mr. A.P, because you see this person in this picture. That person's a little bit older now, and she was the person that he had under his arm saying, you know, this is my, you know, this picture is taken by my sister, or whatever the exact words were. Yeah, that's one of Adam's pictures. The sweet woman, Anna, she's never heard the first and the third song. And she tells him, you're really clever finding rare treasures. Well, see, Mr. A.P has got over 975 songs uploaded on his YouTube channel. And let me just ask you a question. And I've asked it a million times. If you looked like your parent, I mean, you're a guy and you look just like your dad, or you sound just like your dad, but you don't get to be with your dad, and you got a lifetime of pain and hurt from people fucking with your lives. Well, don't you think you might take pictures of yourself age appropriately to match your parent? And the minute you can sing that shit, I promise you're singing it. And one day you grow up and you flip the script on every one of them. And that's why I say there is no way in hell, no way, that this is some kind of manipulation to hurt people. Think about how much Elvis Presley was hurt in this game. And that's why he got the real Priscilla and the real Lisa Marie the hell out of the United States. And that's when the imposters came in and you figure it out your own self. He just saw John F. Kennedy gunned down. Give me a break. Okay. Fantastic video and beautiful singing. Right. Now, this Teresa US 777, she's real sweet. I came to know her through Adam's channel, and this picture right there is Adam's picture. And this is the picture that you'll see on the albums that were released overseas in 2006. But, you know, we have other languages here. So you see an international community. And here again, it's lovely. I never see jackasses, or very seldom, on the pages that Adam associates with. It's the third-rate boofs that are stealing his pictures and photoshopping them that we got issue with. This little video, people are, you can tell they want to know what's going on. This would definitely be one that triggered people to realize they had never seen it before. I don't know what CFF is. You are fine, E, and then some writing in Chinese or something. So here again, this is an international collective. This picture has seen a lot of play, and I'll tell you why. Because, unfortunately, they've been able to manipulate film stock footage since the mid-50s. And of course, we know they can do it with pictures. But I want to bring your attention to fashion and to what is acceptable at any given time. Now you see, Frank Sinatra here. He's got him on the right tie. You see the bow tie? Now look at that bow tie. That's not a bow tie. Or it's a bow tie that's not tied. I guess I need to ask a guy because I've never wore a bow tie. But this has been played with. And I'm not saying the oldies station has a clue. Do you see what I mean? Nobody's trying to hurt anybody by this. It's like shuffling an infinite amount of pictures into a deck. And then flipping them out.
7.6 earthquake just hit South Pacific.
7.6 earthquake has just hit the South Pacific, Joe says.
North of Honduras.
North of Honduras.
So,
if anybody has kin, relative, friends, whatever, you could look at a place called Thor News on YouTube. I trust him, and he always has the heads up for people. All right. You know, I've lost track on the numbers. Isn't that sad? But we can't really say anything about this picture except for one thing, and one thing only. Mind control programs. Now, I didn't assign a letter to that because I broke them off into different categories. But I'm going to believe that this is number 6. I can check all this later because I'll go back and number these. But I've been extremely busy, and I do the best I can do. For now, we're going to say it's number 6. And I'm going to put the tie. I'm going to write down tie. And I'm going to write down mind control programs. All right. Remember that fake picture where the gal says, "Oh." Okay. Here is the entire thing of it. So this is Happy Birthday Elvis, January 8th, 2018. We have an 83. The only thing I can say about that 83, because this is all by EPE, this is Guitar Man officially registered EPE. Oh, I know who the Guitar Man is. Yeah, we got his pictures. I'll introduce you to him. And why is it that he doesn't let me see any of his shit? Well, because he knows that I catch bad guys, and he knows that I know that the only reason his punk ass has got a page. See, his claim to fame, of course, is that he wrote music for Elvis. And now him and Priscilla and some other people sell people Elvis cruises. Right, that's Guitar Man. Boy, if I had somebody that I thought was a jerk in my friend list, I'd put him in. I don't really have anybody like that, though. All right, we're just going to leave it alone. And so this is manipulation. I don't know if anybody else, I think they've hit the air with something. My nose is wanting to sneeze all the time. We're going to say mind control again, because here's what happened too. We've seen 2 different sets of pictures for Elvis, mom and dad. And so they intermix, and it very could be that Gladys Presley had a sister or a twin or something nobody knew about. Maybe they separated them too. I have no idea. This stuff is really crazy. But here again, you confuse it so much that you never get to the truth. That's the mind control program. All right, here we go again. So you remember in that last picture, they almost make her look like she never looked that good, and they add hair to her and, you know, give her a new face. This is the one that we would always see stateside. This is the one that was in terrible, poor health. This is the one that, believe it or not, they will say the reason why she died early is because she worried herself to death over her baby, and she drank herself into an early grave. And he felt so guilty about that, that's why he engaged in the excesses he did. And I hope anybody can figure out that is not. I mean, this is such a manipulated picture. And what I think is interesting about this one, of course, is now we're getting all the different people with all their little stories. And of course, we see the secret agent, Elvis Presley government agent. We also see the Elvis Presley, FBI, CIA, and Obama Elvis. Remember, they've connected him with Trump, Nixon, and Reagan as well. This, number 8, I'm putting down military government. All right. Here's one of his secret hideaways for the last 30 years. Yeah, it's real secret when you got a place called Outlaw Films making bogus pieces of shit that tie in with all the bogus monkey business going on with EPE and Graceland. Oh, yeah. They all like the same kind of buggies in their bed. But, you know, of course, they were saying that they knew that, you know, John Burroughs was really Elvis, and, you know, they went to his house and demanded an interview. And he started singing like a canary. Really. And he's got a 58 Chevy that he keeps handguns and 8-track tapes in, but doesn't want anybody to know he's Elvis. Bullshit. Just ask Aaron. Sure, witness protection program. What if Elvis came back 40 years later as Moses? See, now here's the fight. So we have the one that refers to an eternal biblical. Then we have the death cult that is diehard Elvis is dead. They placed him in an open casket, for heaven's sake. Why do so with an imposter or wax doll? So I'm SP sorry, but he isn't alive. Okay, now the other one says, yes, Elvis is still alive. Let me know if you want in the group. Right. So you got all these groups out there that are promoting a fake-ass Elvis and getting people to join their group, because in those groups, there's somebody that's always got cancer. There's somebody that's always burying their dead and needs money. And there's always somebody selling something of his. I like to get in the groups and expose them, but, you know, I don't got time for that shit. Now, there's a petition with this, and I know what this petition is because I've been catching bad guys for the last year on this. They wanted to make, you know, his birthday a national holiday. And they were creating a petition to iconize this guy so they can make a buck. Okay. Now this gal's sure that's Elvis. In this little bitty picture that's got a lot of shading on it. But hey, that's okay. I don't think she knows about Photoshop. And of course, they're tagging other people, starting with the no way. And it says, you are on the money. It's not Elvis. Already proven. Yeah. You guys got about as much proof. You don't have proof until Adam steps forward. Either that or until I bust the code. I mean, I would much more prefer that he would do it, and I think he is doing it. So we'll just leave it at that. And we'll assume that's number 9. All right. Now, this person says, I have seen and listened to the David Darlock clip from the Geraldo show doing the Elvis impersonation. It is still on YouTube, and I have to say that whilst it is very good, it is also not 100% spot on. Therefore, I don't believe he is the one on this recording. In that clip, we only get to hear David Darlock speaking as Elvis for a short duration of time, something that could have easily been rehearsed. I don't believe that he would have been able to sustain sounding like Elvis continuously like the person does on the recording. Back to Outlaw Films and their recording of who they said was Elvis behind a fuzzed out face and was claiming it was John Burroughs. And oh yeah, John Burroughs is gone now from Facebook and everybody wants to know where he is. See, that's all shiny baubles acting like puppets doing their part of their little show. And keep in mind, I already just got done talking about the Geraldo show. If this person feels this strongly about it, can this person come to terms with the reality that they've been able to manipulate film footage since the mid to late 50s? I mean, it's not my problem either way, but we have to identify that person as mind control with a little bit of fantasy. Because if this person knows anything about computers or technology and still pops that off, then they got problems. Okay, now here comes John Cotner that goes with John Burroughs. But in the meantime, you guys, I really have got to blow my nose. I refuse to sound like this. And I refuse to sniff. You know, I refuse to do a lot of things, don't I? I refuse not to talk to jackasses. Oh, I got so many things. We're gonna go to Sue's World Movie Shorts. And let's see what I could play you. Oh, I love that with all the dates, but we're still getting popped with copyrights, so we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that either. Hey, this one is nice. You will enjoy this. This is someone that just showed up at our house one night, and we call it Mystery Guest Arises on Sophia's Emporium. You have a 10-minute break if you want to get something to eat, get something to drink, blow your nose, whatever.
Yeah, experiencing itself in every way, shape, or form. Just the universe's way of getting to know itself.
Yeah, that's cool.
And how old are you?
17. Or no, actually I'm 18 now. I keep forgetting.
Well, I mean, just in this lifetime.
We keep waking up even earlier. People are getting smarter.
Yes,
younger,
they are. Yes, they are.
which is great.
Well, and of course, you'd be an old soul. And what they say is happening is all the multidimensionality of you. The other ones that are out in the universe are all merging into this one here. It's very cool. What else? I wanted to ask you something. No, I wanted to ask you something else we were talking about earlier. I'll have to think about it. We'll make another video. But I have
Do you listen to much Terrence McKenna, Joe Rogan?
Well, okay, so what happened with me is I was recruited to come online, and I'm a remote viewer, and I also remote influence Courtney Brown and the Farsight Research Institute. Right. So there are certain people that vibed to me when I came online, and it was my job to discern them and be either go with it or not. So Terrence McKenna is great, but he's not one of the ones that personally came to me. There was a group that came to me, and my job was to know who those people are. But of course, he's incredible. I'd say that's a great source. He's one of the most reputable and long-lived people online speaking about these advanced concepts that you're talking about. Now, Joe Rogan, it's not that I don't think he's great, but like you've known me for just a few minutes today, and I'm kind of like really serious, and I stick on my own thing, and I feel too much anger vibrate there. You know, and I'm a girl.
Yeah, it's pretty controversial.
Oh, believe me, I run with the most controversial folk, but they're all about the love. And some people, I'll explain to you this way. When they had their awakening, whether it was 2012 or whatever, do you see what I mean online? They brought their persona with them that hadn't burned out the dross. And the dross is the false ego. And then they took the false ego into it, and then they bring truth. Do you see what I'm saying?
We have too much ego. I think that a lot of people need to demolish their ego a little bit, meditate, and really get some things off their mind. Like, survival isn't a problem anymore. We're thinking about materials, drugs, like sex, stuff like that we shouldn't really, just some human shit.
Spirit. You are living like a great spirit, my friend. Yeah, and you tuned into it. So what have you experienced on this holy day? Because, I'm not even about the Easter egg or bunny, but I've had an incredible experience that kicked off at midnight. So how did you feel today?
I actually felt terrible. I felt very sick, but I am still alive. Life's great. I really like every day. Life's been pretty shitty to me recently, but I'm still really enjoying it, to be honest. Just because I'm alive, I couldn't ask for anything better than this.
And you're alive at the most pivotal time in no time. Because you know we're eternal and immortal.
So much is happening right now. Like, people used to be born in this world, and then say, like, the Egyptians, they probably worked on the pyramids for, like, their whole entire life. Like, that was their everything. I see all this stuff constructed, all these buildings, society being constructed before my eyes. More stuff than ever. Time's speeding up. And it's great to see.
Well, I make a promise to you. The work that I've always done is about the love.
This house is so cool.
I'm on the inside of this thing. I am the point. Okay? So we're gonna fix all this. And that's what I came here to do.
I
And
think that's what I was birthed to do, for real.
it is. What's your birthday?
March
Where
24th.
the $1 million house is. Where they rebuilt.
Really?
What, is that your birthday?
Took all the windows
It's my
out,
dad's
built all the
birthday.
windows out, everything all back to the white one. But then breakfast.
Wow.
Going right next to it.
Wow. And so
That
something I just learned because
tile like on my fireplace.
been made
Like alcove
Scribe
in the wall.
of the story that is gonna make international news about
Upstairs, that was their.
Elvis Presley.
They took, like, Spartan fast.
And it's gonna explain what's happened to all of humanity. Because we've got cloning, deceit, all the false programs. And they've taken me on a journey. And now I know the truth. And
Vision.
there is nothing in a name. So if I told you that right now that I could show you legal documents on
Yeah, that
4
would be
people
cool
with
if
that
I
name
did that place.
and that voice, and they're all different people, what that proves is what we're talking about, how everything's going to fold into itself. And so many people have been affected and made sad by this AI matrix.
Yeah, 'cause that's great.
So you're going to see it all change. You guys are going to grow up in a safe world.
I love that.
Your babies will be.
It
It will be. It will be because you've got
I like it so much.
a team from around the galaxy, not just of the flesh.
Yeah.
It's like garden, and then there's the
Me and Chloe were talking last night. We were laying on a hammock, and we were talking about how we perceive the world and how the world perceives us, just as a huge generalization.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we could say something very stereotypical about Africa, but in all seriousness, Africa's this. Like, Africa's this. You can't sum Africa like this into this.
Right. And you know, every region, every institution, every race, every creed, every color, they have purposely done that to the children of the kingdom of God to fragment them. You see what I'm saying? Now, if poof, there is no more of that, and we just focus on the good things: clean water, clean food, love, sustainability, community, we're going to make it.
Yeah.
And the rest of it's going to turn to dust, and it'd be definitely in a 3D reality instead of a 5D reality. And the dust is the actual lives they'll still experience. They're going to be fine. All the people that are so lost that they don't have the love in their heart that you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish there was more love in this world, because the problem is a whole bunch of people are born in this world and don't really experience it. Never really do. Don't get that genuineness. And it's pretty sad. And animals too, especially. That's something I have a big problem with. When something goes through birth and then is taken away from its like child, like right after, or like anything from puppy mills to just testing on animals in general, like testing on like rats and stuff. Like, you know, rats are pretty smart.
That's
Probably
why they
smart
did
enough
it.
to,
Because our brains are closest to rats. Confirmation of spirit. When I will say confirmation of spirit Young or man.
phenomenon
in progress, it is a serious thing that I'm saying. So yes, you're absolutely right.
that's like our brains going through that pain and torture though, for our knowledge,
Mhm.
which, I mean, how else are we gonna know?
That's right. That's right. That's right. And so then, as all the pain is removed, and we leave that old paradigm behind,
So cool.
will be healed from the experience. But that collective consciousness will also be cognizant and not repeat. Because, see, a lot of people, okay, they believe that since they know that we're eternal and we have lifetime after lifetime and we're recycled, some of them think, well, you know, fuck it, on this particular round, I'll just come back and do the same thing. And it's like, no, dude, you got it wrong. Because everything is going to catapult forward. This is the only one divine appointed time that this can happen. What you're going to experience here in your life on the third cosmic ray in Ferguson, Missouri. Because you know St. Louis is all a soft kill project from MK Ultra. You know, they did the radioactive fallout in the unlined pit over there by the river, you know.
Oh yeah, in St. Charles.
Yes.
That like huge mound of like toxic waste from like the 50s.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
It's Westlake landfill. And I know you guys gotta go. God,
Yeah,
that was awesome. I just love you guys, man.
I
This
just
is
have to
great.
go to school.
No, I get it. Hey, Sue's saying peace out and God love the children. That's what this is all about. I am so in a state of bliss. Talk soon, guys. All right.
There's got to be a.
Now, seriously, you guys, for real. I guess it was about 15 minutes ago we announced the 7.6 earthquake. The other person you want to look up besides Thor, and this is the earthquake authority, is Dutch Sense. That's who you here. Let me take y'all there real quick. Okay, now Dutch is live right now. And you spell it DUTCHSINSE. This is his official website. They give him 9 kinds of hell and tell him the stuff isn't popping off when everybody's looking right at it. So, great man, great channel, great mission. Now, in the meantime, while we got these earthquakes going off and everything, we just had the street kind of explode right outside. You know, when the pipes go kaboom and then all the water starts flooding. So Joe said it's directly outside of the house going towards AT&T. And do I want to go see it? I said, I'm still live streaming, but in the meantime, I think I'm going to sign out because maybe I should prepare. I don't know exactly how, but there's probably something we should do. And it's 10:30, and I believe that we're through number 10 out of 57 images. And you guys know me. I get overwinded. I talk about too many things. I try to connect the relevant subjects of the day and keeping up day to day on something that's developing as fast as it's complicated, to say the least. So, yeah, we're done for tonight. Put away the game pieces. And when I come back, now like tomorrow, I will be with clients most of the day. But when I come back, I will have those pictures numbered for us. And so maybe we'll just call that a short exercise. Because what I did is I gave my own answers. I put in my own beliefs and experiences. And, you know, I appreciate you guys. So, once again, I'm not perfect. And I know that I am more than human. So don't think that you're just human, because that's a lie. And there are some people that are less than human, that you call human too. This is why it's important to be able to tell the difference. So keep your heart brains pumping and open. And I'm just going to say peace, love, and light from, the big yellow house on the third cosmic ray, right? And we'll talk again tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Good night. Now we're going to go ahead and stop this broadcast. So I know it takes a minute.